Stamping Friends. I am Brenda Hillard. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located here in north central Minnesota. And we're just going to give it a few minutes. I hopped on a minute early just to make sure everything's working as I expected. And it looks good. I'm just going to check my Facebook Live, and that looks good too. Um, we'll get started. I'll just wait for a few people to hop on. And let's see if it's not quite 9 o'clock. You'll see a thing come up that says, thank you for commenting. Be sure to comment, like, and share. That just helps grow my viewership, which is the goal in doing um, live videos. And, well, besides sharing my love of paper crafting with you. Um, but I will definitely reply to all of the comments following the live, right? So it looks like we have a couple people on. So I'm going to switch down to my workstation. Notice that we are, I should say, yeah, happy October. Today is already the 5th of October, and I do have a new uh, monthly host code, and that's right up there. So when placing an order with me, if you use my host code on orders under $150, then you will receive a special little gift from me. So, all right, let's uh, let's switch down to my workstation and we'll get started. All right, so let's start with today's suite of products. It is called the Nests of Winter Suite Collection. It can be found on page 30 and 31 in the mini catalog. And I'm going to tell you the truth. I personally do not, like, I'm scared of birds. I love watching them at a distance, but if they come close to me, like, I do not like that at all. So, um, yeah, I was kind of surprised that I loved this as much as I did. The paper is absolutely beautiful. We'll flip through that quickly. But let's go through the suite of products here. And I've switched up a few of the things, but we'll talk about that when we get closer to um, our project for today. So there's this beautiful, it's a cling stamp set. Cling meaning that it's red rubber. And there's 7 stamps in the set. 3 sentiments, 2 with birds, this little cranberry swag or berry swag. It's super cute. And then I think these look like pussy willows. So anyway, that's the stamp set. And of course, there's the coordinating dies for the swag, the birds, and there's some little sprigs and branches and whatnot. But look at this cool die cut with all of the pine boughs and what. I have not used that yet, obviously, because I can't get it off my backing, but there will be cards coming with it. This really is a beautiful set. It comes with a trio of, they call it linen thread, natural tones linen thread. It's a little bit, seems like it's a little bit thicker than our regular linen thread, but it's in beautiful colors, Cajun Craze, Night of Navy, and Garden Green. There's embellishments. These are called the Earth Tone Shimmer Gems. And I think there's one more color up here that's hiding. Let's pull it out so you can see the whole thing. Yeah. So there's basic white, basic beige, garden green, and then what this is. I think it's supposed to be like a Cajun craze or maybe a pecan pie, but I really think it could be used on the peach pie cardstock too. I think it would be a complementary color. And then here is a very cool, look at how giant this embossing folder is. Can you see that? The embossing folder itself measures 6 by 8.5. So you can do a whole, like, width of cardstock. So if you are into memory making, scrapbooking, call it whatever you want, you have some great options with the large embossing folder. And then let's do a quick scan through the paper. Now I've used almost all of this bird paper, and I'm going to do a card today with you using this. This is what I have left. But the dies in the set coordinate with the birds. There's another, this guy right here coordinates with this. I think it looks like a robin, but it coordinates on there, so you can just die cut right out of the paper, which I did this month. Um, I'm in like I think 4 swaps this month, so my birds got used for swaps. But there's that with this backing, which isn't that beautiful? And then another pattern of birds with like a splatter. These could also be used for snowflakes. There's a sheet with smaller birds and garden green and white stripes. And then here are those pussy willow prints that I was thinking. So there's this one with a birch bark back. And then there's this print, which is actually birch trees or aspen trees with the little birds in it. And then that has this beautiful, I don't really know what those are, but they're certainly pretty. And then look at this one. This is one of those where you can cut it in half and then make like 6 cards just with the print and add a little sentiment or whatever, and simple and easy. All right, let's look and see who we have on this morning. So those are the papers for this suite, as I said, was called the Nest of Winter. And I seriously am in love. All right, let's see who we've got on. Good morning, Sarah. Good morning, Mary Manlick. Good morning, Candy. Good morning, Joy. So that's who I see so far. My comments come in a little slow. All right, you guys. So here's what I have for pieces. I have your standard card base. And last weekend I was at a 4-day stamping retreat, and I really thought this was funny because you know how do you ever get confused about which side to score or to fold on? Like when you score your card, there's a valley and then there's a bump, right? Well, I have trouble remembering, like, do I fold to or, into or away from? And they had a really good technique that said, good morning, Donna. Good morning, Colleen. Whoa, Colleen, I'm so happy to hear from you. Um, Vary the bump. So the side that has the bump is how you fold to. So vary the bump. I liked that. I think I'll be able to remember that. I have a little piece of, this is from the Regal Flora. And this is a specialty paper, and it is so pretty. It's one-sided. It's called the Regal Distress Patterns, and it's in a cherry cobbler. And I think you can see the gold shimmer on there. It's really, really pretty. And then I just cut out a piece of the birds because we're going to die cut this. And then I die cut this piece, a plain white piece of basic white cardstock with the birds as well. I'm also going to use these are called druzy adhesive back elements. When I looked up druzy, like I've never even heard the word druzy, but they're crystals. And these are really, really pretty. As you can tell, I'm on my second pack and I'm almost out or going through them. And then this is the cherry cobbler and gold ribbon. Isn't it pretty? think you can see that little shimmer. So I thought with this paper, with the gold, and then the gold drusies and the cherry cobbler. So here's our pieces. I have two of these, which you don't need two. We're going to do a little experiment today once the card is done. But I have a piece, let's just say one piece that measures 3¾ by 5. And then I have another piece that measures 3¾ by 4 7/8. And you guys know that I put all the supplies and measurements over on YouTube once I upload to my channel. All right, so let's bring in, first of all, I want to die cut these little birds. So I'm going to bring in my mini stamp, stamp and cut and emboss machine. And my plates are well loved, but they're still really flat. So I'm using them. I'm going to put this on. Just line up the print in the outside of our bird. And then I'm just going to send it through my little die cutting machine. All right. So there's that. Because do you know how cute this is? Look at how little it is when you fold up the trays. Like it's as big as my hand. It's perfect for the little traveling and whatever. It's not really go much beyond 3 inches wide, but hey, it's a great little machine for just this kind of project. All right. So now we've got um, the birds cut from the designer series paper, which that always makes it super easy to do your card, right? I'm going to bring in this is not Stampin' Up, but this is my Sweet Petunia glue press. I love, love, love my glue press. Just clean off the tip so that my glue comes out. And I'm just putting glue all over this piece of basic white cardstock. Let me get this into. All right. I'm going to bring in my silicone mat. And this just helps so that I don't get glue on my glass mat. I'm going to line up my die cut with basic white and just kind of smooth that down. So what this does, and the reason that I do it, is it gives it a little bit, it's more firm, and you can pop it up on your card. And it's really, really, it's easy with the die cut, and it lines up perfectly. So there's that. I'm just going to bring in a couple magnets to hold that in place or weight it down until it dries. And then let's bring in the oldie but goodie technique, okay? So I'm going to bring in, this is my Simply Scored, the scoring tool that you can find in the tools section of your annual catalog, okay? It's a ruler here, and I'm going to take that piece of 3 5/8 by 4 7/8, and I'm just going to turn it at kind of a steep angle, maybe like a 45. No, I guess that's probably more like a 20-degree angle. And I'm going to start, and I'm going to use the fine tip. There's a thicker scoring ball and a thin. I'm going to use the thin. I'm going to start at 6, and I'm just going to score on that diagonal. And I'm going to go every 1/8 of an inch. Now I'm going to go on the other side of, so 6 1/8. 6 1/4, 6 3/8. And can you see what I've got there? I've got these score lines in the card. You can do more if you want to. I thought 6 was good, but you could just keep going down if you wanted to. I'm going to move my scoring tool. I simply scored forward. And now is what we're going to do is I'm going to take a piece of that designer, the specialty paper that I showed you, and I'm going to use my 2 3/8 inch circle punch. I'm just going to punch circles, and like I said, this card, I think it's so pretty, but it is really, really simple. So let's take the sentiment from the stamp set called Thinking of You Always, and I'm going to bring in my memento ink. I'll set it open, and I'm just going to ink up my stamp, and I'm going to stamp right down here at the bottom. Oh, and I don't like it. I have a mess. Use this side. This will work just as well. Let's try again. Now it's crooked. All right. Well, we get to do another piece of paper. Oh, you guys, sometimes the beauty of being live, right? Let me just cut a piece of paper that measures 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. And we'll do that little scoring check one more time. And let the technique. And let's do I'm gonna do 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. All right. More score lines on it this time and just see what that looks like too. Okay. So remember I said I poked it in the little score mark for the 5 inch. And then I scored at 6 inches with the small tip of the scoring tool. 1, 2, 3. Let's see 4. Let's do 8 or 10. We'll see what it looks like. I'll do one more, just for good measure. Okay, so now we have our scored food. Let's try stamping again. And the stamping tool is a beautiful thing for this, but I'm going to try it. I see what's kind of happening. It's bouncing up a little bit. So if I put a magnet on, maybe, and it holds it, let's see how that works. Like a charm. All right. So there we have our top mat. I'm going to bring in our circle. I'm going to add glue. And this circle is kind of a cool thing to show you here in just a minute. So you can have your grid going straight up and down, or you can turn it at an angle. And I wanted it angled just a little bit as to create that background for me. Okay. Then we're going to bring our birds back in. This is the one that we glued onto the basic white cardstock to firm it up. I think it's time for a sip of coffee. Mhm. And let's get our Stampin' Dimensional. We're just going to put some on our birds here. give those a little lift and make them the kind of our main focal. I know I have a lot of them on here, but I really don't want this to sag. Over time, like if the paper is a little bit heavier, your piece can kind of sag down on your card, and we don't want this to happen. So, all right. Great. So now I'm going to set my birds down. I like it. And then let's bring in our pretty, this is the cherry cobbler with the gold thread. And I'm just going to tie a little bow. Like so. And I want it just kind of little. I don't want it to take away from our little bird action there. Trim that. Get one of my mini glue dots. And I'm going to tuck that bow right in here. All right. I'm going to trim this one just a little bit. Don't want it interfering with our sentiment. What are you thinking so far? I don't know. Birds are a thing. I don't know if, like I said, I am not, I don't like them close to me for sure. I like watching them from a distance, and I feed birds and all of that, but I just don't like it when they come close to me. Being I just have that one left. Take the backings, and you saw that I was using the edge of my dimensional. I hope that you do that too, because there's lots of good sticky on it. All right, here's the thing, you guys. I made these mini maps. So remember, our card base is white, and I love white on white. I think it's really elegant, but I wonder what you would think. Do you think we could do the mini cherry cobbler to make it pop off the card, or should we keep it white on white? Yeah, I know. The scoring makes it just stunning. It really does. Um, I think I'm liking the cherry cobbler. And I have one that I can show you white on white, and then we'll do this one with the cherry cobbler and see what we think, okay? This card base is bugging me because it's not totally squared up. So I'm just going to try to get that straightened out a little bit before we actually put it on the card touch. Because I love this card, and I know that I will send it out. So I want it to be really nice. All right. All my cards to be really nice, to tell you the truth, but you know, sometimes sometimes one turns out better than the other. So let's put this down on. I used my big gun because whenever I do like multiple cards, like I did 25 swap cards, so I had my big tape gun loaded. So there's with the cherry cobbler. So what do we say? Nancy thinks the cherry pop. Beth says cherry cobbler. Donna. Um, well, Mary, I don't know. I am. That's out for debate with me, I'll tell you, because I really don't like them close. But so here's with the cherry cobbler, and here's with the white on white. I don't know. I like. I might have this on a little bit crooked too. I didn't really notice that when I pushed it down. My big tape gun has a little bit more time as far as being able to reposition. So there's that. Now remember I told you about the druzy adhesive? Well, here they come. And they're super sparkly and super pretty, and I think they rank close with being my all-time favorite embellishment. All right, because there's a little bit of gold in our paper and a little bit of gold on our ribbon, I chose to use the gold. So I took a big one. And you know that rule of three where you use 3 or 5 or 7. You always want an odd number, but the rule of 3 kind of draws your eye in like a triangle. So there, there we have it. So there's a red and a white. Now on this one, on my actual swap cards that I did, I glued these down flat because I wanted them to be good mailers. I think even with them propped up on dimensionals, the dimensionals are um, pliable enough that it will mail okay, and it'll give a little boost to the druzy adhesive embellishment too, so that they aren't quite as um, hard on the envelope through the mailing process. But looking at these, I don't know. I am kind of leaning towards the cherry cobbler um, versus the white on white. But white on white has always been a kind of a favorite of mine. I love the clean look, and so that, my friends, is yeah. Thanks, Mary. Um, So that's my project for today. Remember that I upload following the live to my YouTube channel, which will include the supplies, my host code, the measurements, all the good stuff. So um, thank you so much for hopping on today, and I will see you. I have to think about this. Next Saturday will be the 12th. I'm still good. It's still good. I'll be here next weekend. And then the following weekend, I'm going to another stamping class. So the MEA weekend, I will not be live. So thanks, Beth. Have a good day. I would love to get in touch with you. I have a couple things here for you. So, all right. Have a great rest of your weekend, everybody. And I'll see you next Saturday. Bye for now.